So I want to just pay homage to some of the cats who were before you, real quick. And then, as I say their names, you can kind of acknowledge.
Okay.
Two Nasty Nas,
Oh man, he's the goat, man.
Porno,
Pioneer.
Soul One. If anybody's out there that can get connected to them, just let them know that we paying homage to them. Soul One, Tame One. Is that from the legendary group
Absolutely.
Artifacts?
Yep.
Shout out to Artifacts. Merge. You know what I'm saying? J. Rue. Task One. It's TYR. Tier One, maybe, and Snow. So shout out to all of those who came before you, you know what I mean, and kind of gave you the torch. You know what I mean? We pay homage with that horn.
Definitely.
And anybody who knows me know I'm a DJ at heart. You know what I'm saying? That's why I blast that horn the way I do. Uh, so your family is artistic in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Starting with, you know, your mother. Talk about her artistic background and how that may have affected you moving forward.
Um, yeah, the artistic roots of my family run deep, man, on both sides. Um, my grandmother went to industrial school of the arts on top of Arts High. My grandfather was a jazz musician, and he also was an illustrator. I remember when I was a kid, I saw he drew this picture of Sammy Davis Jr. I thought it was a photograph. I was like, "Yo, what the?" Yeah, he was nice. My mother wasn't really on the visual side, but she was a singer, dancer, like multi-talented writer. My dad was a painter, and my uncle illustrator. Like my sister is a dancer, so like my whole family, man, it's like in the genes. But yeah, my mom definitely helped put the bug in me too.
But you had to be the rebel.
Well, hey, man, somebody got to do it.
Now you got some athletic abilities as well because I'm thinking when you out there tagging up and bombing these places, that comes with at a risk. You
Definitely.
know what I mean? So I'm gonna get into some of that later on, but no, I'm gonna get into that now actually.
Okay.
So where are some of the places that people back then might have seen your work but not have known that it was you? Like, were there any particular like certain spots that you were known for that being your area, for that being your work?
We used to do a lot of our bombing and stuff and tagging on foot, right? So what we would do, we'd take like a bus route, start like at the top of the hill, work our way all the way down. Sometimes we'd walk like through 2, 3 cities. Talk about getting 10,000 steps in, man. We was doing that for free. Um, so yeah, bus routes. Once we got real courageous, we hit the highways a few times, which is stupid. Um, bombing trains and stuff, you can't really do that no more because they'll clean it right away. But the tunnels and the walls alongside of the tunnels, we would hit those. But yeah, we're known for bus routes. And like a lot of times when they're doing construction on a building, they would have like the scaffolding with the wooden planks and stuff. Oh, we hit those, bro. We'd run up on them at night while people standing there, just bounce. Um, and then like a lot of times, like, cause I remember the winter of '94, we had like a lot of snow, so we couldn't really do a lot of pieces, a lot of bombing and stuff. So we were doing a lot of marker tags, and I would just squeeze in wherever I could, mailbox, uh, light pole, wherever, anywhere and anywhere and everywhere rather, but mainly bus routes.
Now, now you talked about rivals, gangs, and it not being really that serious, violent culture. But I'm pretty
Mm.
sure at some point during your during your journeys, you kind of came across cats that either they did work over your work or vice versa. Did it ever talk about an experience where it kind of got close, or are there too many to remember?
Yo, man. Yeah, it got heavy a few times. It could have got real bad. I remember. I'm trying to pick the best story I could tell. All right, so you know, we artists, man, but a lot of us, you know, we from the hood. We ain't gangsters, but if it goes that way, it can go that way, right? So there's this big crew called QMA. That's Snow's crew, right? They're huge, man. So there's some young cats down with them. Me and my boy Proto, we had just put up in Harrison Station on the PATH train. It's like this little abandoned factory or warehouse or something. And it's like a little area that you can, it's like a rooftop. And we was scoping it out like, yo, that'd be good to put a piece on because it's like the PATH train stops like right there. People could really look at it. So we go through, you know, we climb up there. We going through barbed wire and all this stuff. We put some nice pieces up there and it only rocked out for about, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. So one day we go into the city, we go by and I'm like, yo, somebody just went over our shit. He's like, nah. You must have saw it wrong. So on the trip back home, I'm like, oh, somebody went. And we go back over there and we look, and it's these two dudes. They went over both of us. I think his name was Rel, and the other one was Fuse. And it was like, yo, like, it's rules of graffiti. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually somebody gonna go over your stuff, but not after 2 weeks. So I'm like, oh no, it's on, man. So like, we went back up there, we crossed out this stuff, letting them know, like, yo, what's up? Let's battle, right? So we could not get in touch with these cats because they weren't from Nook. Like they were like from the outskirts, suburbs and stuff, right? But they had mad respect. So chilling downtown in front of the arcade, this toy kid, back when you weren't good in graffiti, they'd call you a toy, right? He was just coming up. I forget his name, but he was bragging about, yeah, I'm hanging out with QMA. This is that crew. Yeah. Some cats from QMA. I know so-and-so and so-and-so. I was like, word? And he was like, I said, you know Rel and Fuse? He's like, oh yeah, them cats, yo, they work in Hoboken. I was like, really? Where at? Oh, the skate shop. Say no more. Me and the crew was about, I don't know, 5, 6 deep. Hop on a PATH train. I'm like, yeah, I want to battle this cat. You know what I'm saying? If he try to come reckless, you know, we could take it to the So we roll up in Hoboken, man. First of all, you know, ain't no brothers, ain't no black people in Hoboken, right?
Nah, still ain't.
All these grimy cats coming up from Hoboken. We could have got arrested just walking out of the station, right? So we walk to the store. So we go up in there, and I'm like, yo, you Fuse? It's like, who? No. I said, what about him? That's Fuse? What are you talking about? I said, yo, don't play me, bro. One of y'all is Fuse or Rev. I said, I'm Dase, AWC. Y'all went over our shit. What's up? You want battles? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I was like, look, man, I ain't come all the way here for nothing. The dudes were shaking in their boots. So I forget what happened. I think D probably convinced us to leave because they probably was going to call the cops. But yeah, man, we rolled up in their job. Like, yo, what's up?
Yeah. Yo, let me tell you. First of all, anybody who's just joining the show, anybody who's a first coming to the show, this is Tuned In with the TKB Report. Nisha, what's good? And I'm the host, K. Langevin, a.k.a. Mr. Three Keys, and my guest is none other than the graffiti legend out of the Brick City of North, Dase. This is a show where I created the platform to celebrate the contributors of the culture, not just musically, not just actors, not just athletes, but true artists. And this brother embodies all of true artistry. He's a true creative. I'm proud and honored to say that he's my friend, my brother, my family. And people are really enjoying this, and I really am as well. So you said there's rules in graffiti.
Yeah.
That culture, when you not coming up in that culture, you being like a illustrator. Yeah. How long did it take you, and what steps did you have to take to kind of learn quickly what those rules were?
Well, like I said, man, I came up under 2 OGs in the game. It's like it was a 2-man crew, but they had respect throughout the city. And I didn't even know, like, my best friend was one of them cats. You know what I'm saying? We had the same homeroom. And from like my junior year on, he became my best friend. So like him and my boy B, they schooled me to it right away. Because there's certain things you do, certain things you don't do, or you be considered a joke, or you won't get respect, or even just like certain things that you do on the street that you just like. You're not supposed to write on houses. You're not supposed to write on churches, cars, stuff like that. You know, to be considered a true hardcore head, you're supposed to steal your paint. You ain't supposed to be buying it, right? So
Statute of limitations is over, so we good. Continue.
so yeah, that was part of it, man. I mean, at this time it was the 90s, so it wasn't as easy to steal, but what we would do is we would steal like 80 to 90% of that and then buy like a few to not look so suspicious, you know what I'm saying? But yo, we going in, I had my Carhartt coat turned inside out. I made all these like inside pockets. Shove them down my pants.
We may have to cut it off because you're telling a lie. We may have to. Pilot, what's good, Pilot?
What up, P?
So listen, the graffiti culture, are there specific styles in graffiti that you break down? Like, where did you get your style? You know, like what made your style unique? Where did you get your style of graffiti from?
All right, so like I said, I started in Philadelphia, and because I went to school down there. My roommate was from the Bronx, even though he lived in Miami. My other boy, he was from West Philadelphia. So my style started off kind of like a Philadelphia style. They got like this long up and down letter style, right? But then when I got home, my boy Fleck, I told him my name and I was showing him the styles I was rocking with. He was like, yo, because he went to school in Pratt. That's in Brooklyn, Fort Greene, Flatbush. Yeah,
Pratt
Flatbush.
Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was over there and he was like, yo, Brooklyn got some new crazy styles. Why don't you write your name like this? And it was like crazy freaky. I was like, it took me a minute to get it. But once I got it down pack, I just started rocking out with that style. So I basically got that from him. It was because Jersey has like a New York style with its own spin to it. So yeah, basically like a Brooklyn style.
So now have you ever traveled to other parts of the country to kind of study graffiti? And where would you say Jersey rates with that?
Um, Man, we had a crazy plan to just go all over. Uh, but that's hard. Logistically, that's hard. Yeah, I've been to a bunch of different states. I would say Jersey is like, because we always in New York shadow, you know what I mean? We like rarely get credit for our own style, basically. But I would say right beneath New York.
Right, yeah. New York. And New York would be number one.
Definitely, yeah.
So, like I stated earlier, Will, what's good, Will? Arthur James Robin in the building. Like, so the hip hop culture, graffiti is an integral part. It's one of the very first elements of hip hop.
It is the first. What I'm
saying? So, who else within the crew? And you know I'm going with this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a Joker individual that you introduced me to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who else within the crew contributed to hip hop differently? Like what, so who was the DJ? Did you have a rapper? You know what I'm saying? I know you guys are connected to a Hot 97 DJ that got a weekly spot, that got a daily spot. Like talk about the other friendships,
elements.
The other friendships that you forged, you know what I mean? Who are contributing in the other elements of the culture that we all know and love as hip hop.
Right. So let's see. Oh man, Rampage, RPGs.
Shout out to Tory.
Yeah, I had a brief rap career. He was my DJ producer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's how I met him. My boy that I told you we did a piece together in Harrison. He was the plug, man. He knew everybody, so he connected everybody together. That's how I met him. I went through my little dance phase too. I was more in the house though, not as much a hip hop dancer. But so I had my graffiti crew at AWC. That's me, Fleck and B, and all the other people that are a part of that. But then I had a rap family too. The crew was called Arctic Circle, and it was a bunch of us. It was shout out to Don Who, Trife, Era, man, crew was deep. Shazbot, we had a lot of cats, man. But yeah, Ramp, he was like, he and I were like the center of all of these like subsidiary crews brought together into one big family. And I don't know if I should put this out there. I'm incriminating myself, but
Don't put it out. Don't put it out. You know what I mean?
let's just say our apartment was the avenue for many activities.
All right, we're gonna leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah, leave it at that.
Continue.
No, but seriously, like it was,
Yeah.
we had like a little studio, pre-production studio. We'd be doing demos and stuff in there too. So we had the hip hop going on in there. We had the graffiti. We had, it's just like a hub.
You know, Driven Minds in the building. What's the deal? My man DM in the building. Salute. We're gonna talk soon.
Yeah, what up,
So
Don?
so I was just looking at the pieces because I was, promoting this thing all week. And those pieces were just amazing. I want you to talk about your proudest moment, after after completing the piece, where you just sat back and in amazement, proud of yourself of all the work, the hard work that you just done. Like, talk about your proudest moment, your illest piece that you ever did that even where you even shocked yourself.
Man, I know the perfect piece for that. So you gotta understand, man, like it's hard to get legal walls, right? You either gotta go somewhere that's hidden where people ain't gonna see you, or you gotta get permission. So like a lot of people ain't trying to hit that. They just see it as vandalism. But not only are we like putting up tags and stuff, like we actually do murals, we actually do pieces. So we finally, after years of having to sneak or go to, like, every crew had a pit, like a place where you could go to, whether it be like a train underneath a tunnel or something where you would put up your pieces, right? So we finally got a legal wall in North Newark off of Broadway. And it was this furniture store. And I forget who had to connect, but my man got permission for us to do it. And we did this like the whole front of the store, and then we got permission to do the other store across the street too. So I had my whole crew down there. And man, it was like, and just like you said, when I finished, I stood back, I was like, damn, I'm a humble cat, but I was like, yo, that shit is hot. Right? So this is like 94, 95. So that's before smartphones, cameras, and all that, right? So mind you, we had permission to get this. So I'm like, I'm gonna come back tomorrow or whatever, go get one of the little disposable cameras, take some flicks. I come back, Kurt, gone. Straight yellow paint across the whole thing. I'm like, no. It was this girl over there I was talking to. I put her name on there. I was like, yo, Jack, go check out the piece. You know what I'm saying? You gonna see you on the wall. She's like, where'd you do it? I said, right there on the store, Peskins. I don't see nothing. It's painted over. I'm like, nah. I'll go over there. It's painted up, man. You talk about, I felt like crying, man. So we went up in there. Like, yo, what happened? Oh, the owner changed his mind. He liked it, but he was like, this might be bad for business. So he just painted everything.
Bastard. I mean, God damn it.